Greetings, this is DT with Interactive Homeschooling, and I wanted to do a quick video on how I manage. A lot of people ask me, how do I manage with working full-time and homeschooling the 4 children? So I'm going to do a quick video on showing you how I try to stay organized or keep things organized between myself and the children. First, I'm going to do this really quickly because actually I'm on my little lunch break and I probably have about 10 minutes left. First, I start off with my handy organizer. I've used the same planner organizer over the years, and I have a schedule for the day of things that we want to do, and I also keep my schedule for work. I transcribe the same schedule onto a board in the home, and we keep it in the kitchen so that the children and I and my husband can also communicate on the days that I work, so they know that my hours for working and things that we can schedule in our daily lives. The next thing I do is to also plan very well and organize things with the children. So each one of my children has a planner like this that has, a schedule in the front of what we'll be doing for a day, has calendars that they can write in, dates for appointments and things of that nature. If they have a dentist appointment or doctor's appointment, or if we've got a field trip, they'll write them in there. And let me show you our schedule. So this would be a schedule for one of my children where we've gone in and I've kind of pre-planned lessons that they will have to complete. Kind of lets them know ahead of time what they should be working on. Lots of times they work at their own pace and they may get ahead on some things. And then sometimes they just don't feel like doing something and they drag, and I have to, kind of get on them to catch up certain things on the weekend. But what I do is always plan out for at least 5 weeks, and this time I actually planned out an entire 8 weeks. And then I pull these out and stick them in a binder when they're done with that section. So my children have a list of expectations of what they need to do. What I do is we homeschool 5 weeks on and 1 week off. During that week typically is when I do a lot of my printing. I don't get it all done, but the majority of the time I can get a lot of it done. And each of my children has a little crate that we keep in the schoolroom on the shelf with all of their things inside, their notebooks and whatever books, if they're using some, they'll be inside of there. And what I do is to make sure that I go ahead and have all the material printed together that they will need. So let's see. So I think this is my son's language arts binder. Well, we do a lot of notebooking. So with notebooking comes lots of printing and getting things together. So what I've done is, this is his writing, which we're going to be working on some research writing research papers and things of that, and essays. So I've gone ahead and printed out each of the next lessons that we'll be working on and stuck them on the inside of the tabs, the divider. I always buy dividers that have these little pockets because it makes it easier to hold the things that they're going to need for their lab books or their foldables. This is the one that we are actually getting ready to finish up that he's been working on. So he's been doing his writing, his interactive notebooking exercises here. So we'll be finishing this up shortly. And then we'll be moving on to writing research papers. So since I've already have that planned out, this is the binder that we'll be using for the writing research papers. So I have this here. So I don't need to run to the store to grab anything. I don't need to run to the store to do any more printing because I have everything here for the next 8 weeks. Same thing here with reading. This is his reading notebook, and we've been working on reading informational texts. So they've been working on that for the past few weeks. And what we're going to do is we're going to move on to reading stories after we complete this. So we should be done with this in another week or so. And after that, we'll be moving on to stories and parts of stories. So what I've done was to print up what we'll need, or what he'll be needing for those units as well. So everything is here that he needs. So what this does is allow me, I do this for all of the children, all 4 of them. Everything will be printed up. Every one of them will have a binder that tells them what we're expected to work on. Now, does that mean that we have to do every single thing? No, it doesn't. We may take a field trip. We may stretch out a day. But whatever happens, we have it organized. And then that way I can continue. I can work. My job all the time has mandatory overtime, and it can be stressful. So I try my best to keep it all together. But this is one way to be able to do that, is by staying ahead of them. Trying to have everything organized. Activities that I plan, that I want my son to work with. This is for science. So he has task cards. And these are written into his notebook to let him know that these are things I want him to do for, you know, studying for homework or what have you. Foldables or anything that he's going to need, that he's going to be putting in his notebook for science. All of that is there. Okay. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful. And again, I will make some longer videos to show you more about our interactive notebooks, and also make some videos to show you how I go about planning and structuring our school year a little bit later. Peace.